Hey, how's it going, guys? My name is Jackie Fish and welcome to this little info dump that we got from Taleworlds. Basically like a roadmap. I assume this is probably the stuff we're going to be getting before the game comes out of early access, but who knows, they don't explicitly say that. But I would assume, this is going to be the future up until the launch of the game. So it's super exciting, and what we're going to do today is just basically run through all the stuff that they say they have planned for this early access period. Again, they don't state that this is everything that they're adding, and I'm sure stuff is subject to change and they might decide to add more. That's kind of the vibe I get from it, so just take that as my opinion. So we start off in this little blog, and again, I'll link this down below in the description so you guys can just check this out for yourself. They basically go ahead and talk about the most recent patches, which honestly I've personally been really impressed with. 1.6.1 was probably the best patch we've actually ever had, adding in the improved sieges, which is so needed, and also the keep battles on top of everything else in 1.6. It was just a really good couple patches and something that I think we've been very much needing in Bannerlord for quite some time. We also talk about the new siege, the new crafting kind of stuff that they're working on as well, which again is great. They also do mention as well that sieges, are going to be constantly improved until they get to the stage that they want them to be. So that's good. It's good that they are working on that, and we're finally starting to see it. And again, I want to also give a big shout out to Taleworlds for giving this bit of communication, because I think a lot of people, myself included, were just like, when are we going to start getting some big juicy content drops? And this is great communication, so I want to go ahead and give Taleworlds props for that, because yeah, it's something we desperately do need. They also go on to talk about Gamescom and how obviously we're not going to be there due to obvious reasons, and then also that they are now returning to the studio now that things are starting to get a bit more back to normal, and that their team itself has also grown. So that's great to hear. It's great to hear that the team is growing. Hopefully I can go ahead and do some more stuff. So next we move on to the single player section, which is really the meat. Multiplayer, once again, doesn't really receive too much, or at least anything of that much excitement. Really the roadmap that really explains a lot more about the single player and interesting stuff that we'll be getting our hands on. So they go on to talk about the battle terrain system, something that I know a lot of people are very much looking forward to, myself included. I cannot wait for this. It's going to make battles so much more tactical and interesting, and really kind of make playing in different areas of a map very interesting, and make your conquests feel very interesting. So basically they talk about this is a much bigger and larger project than they first assumed, which does make sense. When you really start to think about it and really dive into it, there is a lot of custom maps that they need to make, and kind of taking all the different variables about attacking direction and all that stuff. However, they do state in this little section right here that we will be able to get our hands on it way before it is completely done, which is pretty exciting. So I expect this to be coming probably in a beta, not like the immediate soon, but in the near future. I assume we'll be getting a beta with kind of the initial parts of this battle terrain system that you can probably opt into and mess around with and test and give feedback on, whilst they continue to add in more and more scenes. They are basically redoing the entire map when it comes to their battle maps, so obviously that's a big undertaking, along with all the recent stuff that they added with all the new villages and the new castle maps and stuff like that. It does definitely pile up, but hopefully once it's done, it will just be such an exciting and really awesome feature. So super excited about this, and also it's kind of cool that we are going to be able to get our hands on it before it's completely done, so we're not going to be waiting ages to see what this is going to be like. So yeah, I can't wait. As you can see right here, you can expect to see the update to this through the additions of new scenes long after it is made available to you. So yeah, basically it's going to constantly be getting updated after we do get our hands on it. Next, we get a really interesting one, and something that I think a lot of people have been really excited for, and something that people have been asking for, is the ability to make the companions that you have into actual lords of your clan. That is so good. Like, that's something that I've been wanting, because again, one of the biggest problems of the game right now in the late game is the fact that getting clans to join you is near impossible, or it's not near impossible, it's just extremely tedious and not fun, and a very I guess demotivating part of the game. I imagine a lot of people get to that point, it's just like, I can't be bothered to build up an army. However, they are going to be making it so that you can go ahead and assign actual companions to be kind of get peerage, become actual lords, which is really exciting. So I definitely am excited for that. So hopefully that will allow you to basically just kind of build up your court and actually build up your faction. I assume there will be limits on it, or there'll be, it'll be very expensive to do, so you just can't spam every companion into its own noble family, or maybe it'll be like its own like kind of segregated clan where all your companions go into one clan. Either way, it's great, and again, it's a minor thing, but I think it will make the late game a lot more enjoyable. The next big thing we get is the order of battle, and again, this is something that a lot of people have been very, very excited for. Basically, you can go ahead and assign formations. So again, think like RTS camera. Pre-battle, you can set up these formations, and I believe these will go ahead and save in between battles, which again is cool. And then you can also assign commanders, because again, a lot of the upgrade trees themselves give you bonuses whenever you upgrade certain people, but then you can't then assign them to leading your army in certain ways. So again, this is again due to your companions and other stuff like that. You can, again, you kind of get a little taste for it in armies, but again, you have no control over that. So this will just be in your specific warband itself. You'll be able to make your companions leading archers, leading cavalry, and so on and so on. Really good feature, something that I am very happy to see. And again, being able to do this before the battle starts is also pretty good. So that'll be a nice little addition. We also get banners as well. Again, think Bear My Banner or other mods like that. Yeah, that's going to be going into the game. So we'll be able to hopefully adjust the rate at which soldiers are wielding banners. Again, people have seen how epic it looks as all the banners are fluttering in a big battle with all the different clans and all the different types of flags. So yeah, again, a small addition, but a great one. I think stuff like this is really, really good. Party templates is also a very interesting change, and I think will again spice up the way that battles actually play out. Again, a lot of the battles don't really have a ton of personality with the character side of things. You end up just kind of diving yourself in and fighting generic Empire Army #1, whereas this should hopefully make things a little bit more exciting. Basically, armies are now going to have certain templates if they meet certain criteria. So depending on the Lord's traits, depending on where he's from, depending on how many castles he has, how many soldiers he can have, and stuff like that, his army will be, kind of considerably different. I assume this will kind of, if a character is like vindictive or has the merciful trait, they'll probably more likely to have a set amount of soldiers. Maybe they'll have more infantry, maybe they'll have more archers. And I like this. I like the idea of the AI building towards a standardized army for their character, and that will hopefully create some interesting scenarios. I imagine the Kuzites might end up with a lot more horse archers than normal if they, maybe it's a very, very strong leader with super high stats. Maybe he just goes hard on just working towards getting all them horse archers, which is cool. We also get another little look at the cutscenes, so these are going to be new additional things when certain stuff happens. Again, adds more life to the campaign, adds a bit more oomph to them decisions that happen. If you do, one we're seeing right now is that one of our family members has died. If your wife dies in battle, it's kind of like, oh, she died, that sucks. But getting these little, videos is great. It's awesome. I like to see it. Adds more life to the campaign. We also, it's a long list of like their future roadmap, which again makes me feel like this is kind of like everything they want to add into the game before early access. I don't know if you guys get that vibe or not. Next thing that they've stated is sally out missions, which is pretty interesting. Basically what they want to do is whenever you sally out as the defenders, they want to go ahead and create their own custom scenes for that. So it's almost like, I guess, as if you're leaving the castle, maybe mid-siege, and just trying to attack the attackers as they are building siege equipment, or maybe in their camps, or maybe they're going to have certain different styles of siege maps. Pretty interesting. However, again, I still think they need to make it more optimal for defending castles. I thought probably in my 600 hours of playing Bannerlords, I think I've maybe played 2 defensive siege battles, and they're defensive siege battles that I've personally initiated. I think they need to create some more options to allow you to actually do a defensive siege battle. Maybe it's like leaving some of your soldiers in somewhere, and then giving you the ability to sneak into the town, on the whim, so you can like kind of rally the defense. I don't know. This is cool, and I like it. Any additional stuff is great, but yeah, I think they need to make it a little bit more optimal, because from what I'm reading, I think it's going to be quite difficult to actually it's quite difficult to get into a scenario where you can happily sally out and not have to worry. Again, if it does bring in other soldiers, that's also a great way. Like, you're in a city and the AI's brought soldiers over to try and defend, but they just sit there, and because obviously we're not strong enough to take on the army. If there's ways that if you sally out, all the armies around, all the allied armies around you maybe get brought in, that could be a great way of doing it. We also obviously get more scenes. This is something that they're constantly adding, just more castle maps, more different cities, and so on and so on. Really giving a lot of more life to the campaign map. Claimant quests, again, there's a lot here, right? We are coming to the end, though. So basically, you know, through Civil War and stuff, you'll see people rise up and have claims to the kingdoms. We have these in Warband. It's awesome. It's great to kind of push your claim, or push someone's claim on a kingdom. So excited to see that. I assume this is more about the vocalization. This is more about the main storyline probably getting voiced. Again, can't complain there. It's going to be good to see. And then also the usual kind of other stuff, which is just like, you know, constant improvements across like War and Peace, balancing, siege AI, normal AI, battle AI, and so on and so on. Just kind of UI additions, you know, kind of just all of that stuff that we love to see. Probably adding in more perk stuff here and there. So yeah, it's basically what the entire other thing goes. So that's going to basically be all the single player stuff. Again, there's a lot there, a lot to kind of think about. Overall, I think I'm most excited. This is a great addition. Obviously, battle terrain system is really good. I personally really like this change because, as many of you probably know if you've played a full campaign, getting clans to join you is just a pain in the arse. It's just not a fun mechanic. So being able to create your own from your companions is really good. Order of battle, awesome. I think party templates will be very fun. You know, my banner bearers are going to be good as well. Cutscenes going to be good. Like, it's all good stuff. Really is good stuff. On the multiplayer side of things, again, like, they're kind of, I feel like, putting a bit of a band-aid over multiplayer. We just need custom servers. Realistically, I think, and it'll make things go, like, let people set up the battles the way that they want to set them up, instead of this, you know, like, have this as well. But, you know, I think having custom servers, allowing people to, you know, with their communities, really create some cool battles and stuff like that is just the way to go. But this is still cool. You get some skins for progression as you level up and stuff, which is, you know, okay. Voice chat is being added. They've got a cheer and shout system, which is, you know, cool. MVP system, so if you kill loads of people, I assume you'll be shown at the end of the match with this end match screen. Better improvements to capture the flag, and then some other stuff as well that they talk about multiplayer calculation systems, I guess, with like stuff being a bit too OP. But for the most part, I think we desperately do need them custom servers, and then that'll make things a ton better for multiplayer and really bring people back to playing multiplayer as well. And then obviously they talk about, you know, just kind of, you know, creating better features for the game. They also talk about better sound, ambient sounds as well, so that's good to see. Just constantly improving the music, and obviously the ambient sound as well is always good. More language support, better modding tools that they're going to constantly work on, and that's pretty much about it for the other thing. I mean, I say that's about it. There is a lot here to digest and think about, but overall, I think it's a real kind of good step in the right direction. I really appreciate Taleworlds taking the time to do this, because I think us as a community are always like, you know, when's early access going to end? When's, you know, when are we going to feel like we have enough content? And at least now we have a roadmap, you know, on the way forward of what's going on with this game in early access. You know, for those of us who did buy it, I think that is very important. So yeah, big shout out to Taleworlds for that. Overall, excited for all the new additional stuff to the game. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys thought of this. Is there a specific coming change that you guys are really looking forward to, or are you guys disappointed with this? Would you rather to see something else or something more? Do let me know in the comments down below. Obviously, if you enjoyed this as well, I appreciate it if you could subscribe. We cover loads of mods on the video. We have plenty of campaigns and really exciting stuff. So definitely subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one.